Hi guys, I'm Chris Collins from Collins Fly Tying. Today I'll be showing you what you should pick up if you are starting fly tying, like as a beginner, and some of the essentials. So let's get into it. When you start tying, I would definitely recommend picking up a pair of curved scissors and carbide scissors. These are from shore fishing. Actually, I picked these up right here the other day, but I find it's a world of difference from what I've used before, which was this. Now this right here will work fine. It's just, I find these right here, they're a lot stronger, and they're a little tiny. Oh, get it, focus on there now. Let's flip around, see if we can see it. Right there. There are little tiny serrations on the blade. And I find that makes a world of difference when you're cutting moose or deer or anything really. So yeah, definitely pick up a good pair of scissors. Next up would be a bobbin. Now, your kit will come with a bobbin. That'll look most likely like this. This is good, but for personal preference, I prefer this one here as... Oh, sorry about that. I prefer this one here because it's bigger. Oh, mine messed my desk. I was tying earlier. And I find it comfortable, and the tension is good. It's not too tight and it's not too loose, so you can grab a hold of it. If I could, I'd grab a hold of it and pull it out, but no matter what kind of thread you got in there, it'll come right on out without ease, without breaking. I'm not sure the brand here, but just getting like this here. Up next is a whip finish. Preferably one like this right here, because again, I find this to be easier to use. And like I said, I've only gotten into whip finishing recently. I've tied everything off at half inches, which works fine. Makes your head a bit bulkier though, but definitely invest in a good whip finisher. This one here is about $10.99. He's from shore fishing, and works great. Next is a fur stacker or a hair stacker. Now, I cannot stress this enough. This is essential. Makes your wings and everything look 1,000 times nicer. Like I said, I find it to be aesthetically pleasing, just the way it comes out stacked. And it makes the fly look neater, right? So yeah, I would 100% get one of these, a fur stacker. Again, it's one of the essentials I find. Like I said, fur stackers can range from, geez, this one here was like $10. You can get them up to, I believe, 20. But they also have the same purpose. They all do the same thing. This one here, you said you fire your hair down the top there. A couple of good knocks. Turn it on its side. Twist it out. Now, I said I'm only doing it with one hand, but your stacked hair should be right there. And then take it off, snip it, put it on your wing. Is some 6/0 thread. This is what I've used, well, since I've started tying. Now, I've transitioned over to 8/0, which is a smaller thread. Makes your heads a lot smaller and everything, right? But I would, for starting off, get some 6/0. Now, when you're feeling comfortable with that, try to push yourself to move up to 8/0, just so you can, make your way up to it. Now, it's a lot thinner, it's easier to bust, but with this right here, you can bust this too. I've busted that a million times. But you'll learn to control your tension and stuff, how much force you put on your threading, everything. With the 6, move up to your 8, and yeah. Next, mylar and tinsel. Specifically, oval tinsel. I find Uni French to be working good, but people like Vivus and all that. Vivus is a good brand. For what I do is like Atlantic salmon flies and all that, I use a lot of the French tinsel, and I use a bit of the mylar as well. You'd use this on like a butt portion of a blue charm or silver tip. You can use this on a black silver tip as well, but it's more used for like bodies on a silver doctor or a silver blue. Or even then, you can do it on a tag on a silver tip as well. You know, it comes in 2 colors here. You got your gold and then silver. Now you can get this in a variety of colors, like sparkly, copper, and blue, and all that. This right here is a silver at the moment. I got gold as well. Again, for doing Atlantic salmon flies, because that's mainly what I do. Yeah. If you're tying Atlantic salmon flies like me, this is an absolute must-have. Next would be Unistretch. This is used for putting color on your fly. Now, for what I usually tie is a blue charm, for instance. This would be the butt portion, which is above the tag. You use it for... Oh, I had another one there. Oopsie. You'd use this for putting color on your fly. For instance, the body on a green Highlander is yellow and green. Like I said, this is all that I've used. I find it works amazingly. These colors here are the ones I use on a daily basis. You know, chartreuse, red, and all that. Chartreuse and red for, you know, your Undertakers, Green Machines. Orange is for a Father's Pride. Black is for the body on a blue charm or Thunder Lightning or anything with a black body. Green Highlander and green. I use those on Green Highlanders. Yellow is for the blue charm as well, or Thunder Lightning, or anything with that, you know, color of a butt. Any pattern with that, with like a colored butt, is generally tied with Unistretch or floss, is hooks. Now, what I have here is a number 8 Daiichi 2421 low water salmon hook. As you can see, up eye. It's a light wire construction with a long return eye. And this right here is a Mustad Streamer, number 8. Now, this right here is what you tie your traditional Atlantic salmon fly on. You know, your blue charms, Thunder Lightnings, etc. This right here is what I'd tie a bug or a bomber on. Any dry fly. Now, for a green machine, which has a deer body, you tie it on this one here. I'm not sure the reason why, to be honest with you. I believe it's fished like a wit. You can also tie Patty Francis's on this one here. This one here, I've tied wits on this one before. They fish fine. But mainly bombers and stuff are tied on these. Bugs and bombers. For example, this right here is one I tied the other night. One of my own patterns. As you can see, used a golden color with the eye pointing down. And this is one of my Thunder Lightning bodies here on a Daiichi. As you can see, this is what, like I said, for tying Atlantic salmon flies and flies in Newfoundland and Labrador, this is generally what I would use. To the must-haves now. For tying Atlantic salmon flies, especially hair wings and stuff, moose. This is a dark moose that I've actually dried myself. This is the fur I use the most of out of any other fly I tie. Maybe besides a deer hair. Because, well, you use a lot of deer hair anyways. But this right here goes good on almost any fly. Any wet, especially. Especially some nice dark stuff too. Because a dark moose looks good on a blue charm, Thunder and Lightning. If it's really dark, an Undertaker or a silver tip. Like I said, half of my fly box is, well, all of it is full of moose wet flies. Like I said, other than that, you can use this moose here. Nice and dark stuff. As you can see, it's nice and shiny. Hold on now. Then you got your white moose. This would go on your white wing blue charm, or your white thunder and lightning, or artillery. Like I said, once you tie this on a fly, it makes it absolutely beautiful, in my opinion. Now, it's a bit spongy, but that doesn't really matter for me. You know, I like my wing puffed up. So yeah, this is one of the absolute must-haves for tying Atlantic salmon flies. Must-have is pheasant crest, specifically golden pheasant crest, undyed. This right here is, as far as I'm concerned, one of the most important things you can use for tying wet flies. This is the tail portion on a blue charm or a thunder lightning. A lot of flies use this. As it is, you can see it's the head of a pheasant. And what you do is, now don't make the same mistake I did, sorry. These are feathers, right? So you pluck them. But I made the mistake, I don't know if you can see over here or not. I cut them. Like I said, beginner mistake, but once you know how to do it, it sticks with you. Like I said, it goes beautifully on any fly. It makes the flies look nicer. I used to use a yellow schalopin or a hackle for my tails and stuff, and when I started using this, I haven't used a schalopin since. I find this makes it absolutely gorgeous. And where it's shiny too, right? You get the scatter piece with, up here, like a red tip onto it, and that looks absolutely beautiful. This is another must-have, is a schalopin. Now, not blue schalopin, but any color, depends on what fly you're tying. This right here is used for blue charms, silver doctors. Yeah, silver doctors, thunder lightnings, silver blues. A whole array of flies. So, pick out a few packs of this. It's, where I picked it up, it was $3.99 a bag, and you get a lot of feathers. Now this right here was used a lot. I've used this constantly. So yeah, pick up some of this for tying your thunder lightnings. Pick up some orange. Green Highlanders would be green and yellow. And blacks is a strung peacock herl. This piece right here was about $2.99 for, I mean, that's probably a couple hundred flies in that. This right here is mainly used for trout flies, and what I mainly use it for, undertakers and blundertakers, but this is a body on an undertaker. So you take two pieces of strung stuff, you pull it out, tie it on, you wrap it around. This makes that body nice and fluffy and iridescent color looking. So yeah, definitely pick up yourself a pack of these, especially if you're tying trout flies or undertakers. Next would be a calf tail. Now, calf tail is used for an array of things. Mainly, I use it for doing tails and wings, and I've used it for throats before, but I'm not too fond on it. But these are mainly used for like tails and stuff on butterflies, split wing butterflies, and wings and tails on bombers. Like I said, now calf tail is a crinkly material, as you can see here, but it's not too difficult to stack. You snip some off, pull the under hair out of it. If it's some nice stuff, you can throw it in your stacker and give it a couple of good whacks, and it would stack on its own. If not, there was a guy, Chris Wessel, did a tutorial on how to make the best out of some bad calf tail. So, if not, I'd go watch his video on how to get this stuff nice and good. But, yeah, definitely a must-have for tying bombers and some wet still. Is deer hair. This is natural deer hair. I picked this piece up for about $12.99. This is what you'd use for the body on a bomber or a bug, or any fly that floats, I believe. You can use caribou too, I believe. Like I said, this is all I've used. It's a nice, soft material. It spins nice. You can get it in an array of colors too. Now, I believe this is belly hair, because it's come from white, but this is what you'd use on, well, this right here, for instance. Now, that's not the best fly I've ever tied, but Yeah, you can get it in a million different colors. But when you're tying bombers and bugs, definitely pick up this. You're starting off at least, because this, like I said, it's a 6-inch, but it's a 6-inch patch. It's all I've used, and this is the second piece I've bought. I got a box full of bombers and bugs, and this is the second piece, so you get a lot out of this. Next is a rooster saddle. Now this is a dyed orange rooster saddle. This is what you use for the hackle on a on a dry fly, on a bomber. You can see it's nice long feathers. This is not the best saddle in the world, but it's gotten me to where I am now. Oh, sorry if the color's a bit strange there. This is fairly expensive, about $54 for the saddle here. But I'm telling you, man, it's absolutely worth it. You'll get a ton of flies out of this. And like I said, it's gotten me where I'm to now with tying bombers and bugs. So definitely invest in one of these saddles. A Metz number 2 if you can, or a whiting saddle. But like I said, rooster neck saddle. I pulled some jalapeno out of it there. As you can see, there's still some there now, but mainly what you're going after are these nice long skinny feathers. This isn't a must-have, but it's what I used to use on blue charms and stuff. This is gray squirrel. It's a really nice looking fur. Sorry, when you put it on, notice it has all these nice little lines through it and a white tip. It makes the fly look really nice. But the downside is it doesn't compact, so your head tends to get bigger. But that's what you use less for. You can use it on wets and dries as well, actually. I recently used one on a bomber. A guy asked for a couple trout flies, and I was told that trout likes the natural colors, so I said, hey, there's no harm in trying, so I tried it, and it looked really nice. So yeah, definitely pick up some gray squirrel tail. You can get fox squirrel tail too, and I actually have harvested my own squirrel tail before. I've tried it once. It's really soft, but yeah, definitely pick up some squirrel tail as well. Of course, I save the best for last, which is your vise. Now, I'm not sure what this vise is called. It was given to me, but this is definitely the most important tool in fly tying. Well, maybe minus your bobbin, but this this is my go-to device when I'm tying for people. I can crack them on there and go to town. It's not a rotary vise, but you can spin it around. This is not one of them true rotaries, right? But I cannot recommend it enough. Get yourself a good vise. You can get anything that holds a hook, but if you can get a good vise that'll last you a long time, you'll never need to get one again. Alright, this has been Chris Collins from Collins Fly Tying. Alright guys, I'll be talking to you. Tight lines.